Welcome to NCPDP Unscripted, the podcast where healthcare meets real talk. Each episode, we will dive into unscripted conversations with industry leaders, changemakers, and innovators, discussing the challenges, breakthroughs, and behind-the-scenes stories you won't hear anywhere else. Whether you're on your morning commute or taking a break between meetings, settle in because it's time to get unscripted.
Patricia and Kyle, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to talk to you both. We're going to be talking about the Women's Leadership Initiative today, which you two co-lead together. So when did you start as the lead of that group, Patricia?
I think both of us joined as co-leads officially in 2024 when it became an official subcommittee under MLDC. But I think both of us had been members of the group itself prior to becoming an official committee. So for me, it was probably since its inception. It was just something I was very passionate about. So I knew once it became an official committee, I wanted to get involved as a lead.
And Kyle, what made you decide to get involved as a lead?
I love all of the things that MLDC does, the broader organization that the committee's a part of. So anything that helps promote the fun side of NCPDP, I like being involved with. I've been involved with almost all of the different subcommittees. And then I think it was John that reached out and was like, hey, we've got this new committee that we're thinking about doing, and we'd love to have you a part of it. So then I joined it, and then at some point got asked to co-lead with Patricia, and I was like, I love co-leading, and I love the effort. I love a focus on leadership skills, so it was kind of an easy thing for me.
And kind of going that direction. So what all does the Women's Leadership Initiative focus on? And Kyle, I want you to start kind of by talking about who all is invited to participate.
So everyone's invited. I know we call it the women's leadership, but I just think of it as the way to focus the energy a little bit. But it's all about leadership, and that's what I really enjoy about it. It's about coming together and talking about things that are human, finding ways that can support anyone. Supporting women is also a great part of it. But at the end of the day, anyone's involved. Anyone can participate in it, and that's what I like about it.
And Patricia, what about you?
I would say even beyond leadership, because even though the name itself implies that this is for women leaders, it's really about broadening access to our female colleagues in a male-dominated industry. Throughout my tenure here at NCPDP, I've met so many remarkable members who are women, and they have skills and stories to tell, but they don't always get the microphone. And I thought this was such an incredible opportunity to amplify some of those voices that we don't always get to hear from. So it's not just about leadership for me personally, but just giving women the microphone that we don't always get the chance to have.
Which you do.
Right now I do, yes. Kind of feels powerful, but.
There you go, women empowerment right here. So let's talk about some of the things that the Women's Leadership does for membership, right? So you, Kyle, we're kind of talking about some of the fun stuff of NCPDP. So tell us a little bit about the events that the Women's Leadership does.
So, for example, each of the work groups, which we have one every quarter, we always have some kind of an event where we pull people together, have some kind of a theme to it. We do different things where we either have a person that's standing up there talking about a subject, or a group of folks. We have a panel sometimes talking about things, and the purpose, and for me, is really bringing people together, letting people come together and have a little bit of fun, talking about leadership skills or business skills. Have a little food, have a little drink if that's part of it. But that's one of the things that I really enjoy, is we're bringing people together, and not only do we talk about things that are related to your business life, but also you can take it into your family life, and you can be just regular people. So that's one of the things that I enjoy that we do. So I don't know, Patricia, there's probably other things that you might want to highlight that we also do. So
Yeah, I mean, our goals are really about networking and skill building. So we try to do an equal balance between those two. The events that we coordinate are opportunities to, again, build your networks, not just as women, but as colleagues of an industry, and also build upon skills. And again, not just leadership skills, but professional skills that you can apply literally the next day if you wanted to. And, you know, Kyle touched on something that it's not just professional, but maybe even personal. I know last quarter we did something about the let them theory, and that was personal and professional. So we try to strike a good balance between the two. I think that's important in a world where work-life balance is a theme that I don't know we do a good job at. So we try to bring that home in some of our messages.
Yeah, we definitely do. So for anyone listening or watching who doesn't know, I've actually been the liaison for this committee for a long time, since 2021, I think it is, before you guys came in and made it an official subcommittee underneath the MLDC, which has been so great to see so many different members starting to get involved. So what are the ways that some of the members can get involved in the Women's Leadership Initiative?
We have the Pearls of Wisdom book club type sessions that we are always looking for facilitators. I think that's a great way to get involved, but even just take on a role that might be outside of your comfort zone, right? Some people don't like the public speaking or getting in front of an audience setting. And I think this is a good way to break out of that comfort zone. But in addition to that, we're always looking for speakers at some of our events, because it's not just a leader-led initiative, right? We want our members to take the front and center stage, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So between our events, the Pearls of Wisdom sessions, even our regular committee meetings, we have opportunities where our members are able to contribute ideas, and we welcome that. We don't want it to be just the Kyle and Patricia show.
Yeah, we've got, like Patricia's saying, we've got events that we need speakers for, but we also need the ideas. And our last committee that we just wrapped up a few weeks ago was a great session. We had a couple of new folks that had joined us that hadn't been there very much, and we had a lot of great ideas that got brought up, and we had some good momentum moving forward to help set some stuff up for later in the year. So it was good.
And I think that's one of the things we really want to bring a little bit of attention to, is expanding our membership to not just women, but as we call them, our allies. Because in my opinion, the more voices that we can get a part of our committee, the stronger our focus and mission becomes, right? We amplify the access and the voices, and just the more voices that are there, the more the opportunities multiply. So we welcome any and all members to join our committee, male, female, leaders, non-leaders, individual contributors, newer members, older members. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are a champion of building stronger teams and potentially growing into a leadership capacity, we would welcome you into our committee.
Absolutely.
Yes, standards are great, but if you want to do something that you can take back that's outside of the standards to help you at your work, being part of MLDC and being part of WLI is one of those things you can do, and it adds a little bit of fun, because let's say standards aren't the funnest thing in the world sometimes. This adds a little bit of fun to what you can do. So if you like that, or you want to be pushed to do something else, I think this committee or some of our others that are part of our group would be great ones to join.
I actually ask that all the time, especially beginning in my NCPDP membership. Like, where can I get started? I want to make a change. Like, that's my motivation. You know, when people say, what's your why? I want to make a change. I want to be remembered for being impactful and making a change. And so I think this is a great way to do it. So if you're asking yourself, where do I get started? How can I make a change? I think our committee is one of those ways, honestly, because we are about having fun.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, we are on a mission to, again, strengthen teams, build leaders, and just make our industry and our community stronger at the end of the day.
So outside, final question, I promise. So outside of just joining WLI, even joining events, coming to the committee meetings, when you think about supporting women in leadership roles or women in more male-dominated roles, what's one piece of advice that you would give from your perspective to other women supporting women, and from your perspective, Kyle, from other men supporting women?
I think as a female, I would say take every opportunity to recognize those who are making the contributions that sometimes don't feel maybe as powerful as they could be, but maybe just need that encouragement or that, pat on the back to say, keep going. Because at the end of the day, that's, I think, personally, as a woman, what we need. We need that empowerment, that oomph to say, keep going, you're doing a great job. And I think sometimes as women, we aren't our own best advocates. So I would say if there's an opportunity to empower, uplift a woman making a contribution, recognize it out loud. Good job, Whitney. I love what you did there. I think women, I will speak for myself, love recognition, especially in a public setting, and it just makes them feel like their contributions are meaningful when sometimes we don't feel like what we're doing is enough. It's always, am I enough? I know I struggled with that for a long time coming up in this industry. So I would say take every opportunity to uplift each other as women.
Yeah, I mean, as a leader, the way I look at it is try to, at the best you can, utilize a little bit of like emotional intelligence and understand that you've got to meet whoever is reporting to you or whoever you're talking to and discussing things with. You need to meet them wherever they're at. Listen, let them talk, let them get things out if they need to get things out, and really try to figure out, do you need to say something or do you just need to support whatever that is that's happening? And I think that will work well no matter who they are, right? So that's the way I look at it, which is obviously a little different. I think society itself has moved along a little better in that way, as far as being having a little more emotional intelligence and how they deal with managing people. Going back to the work-life balance, I mean, that wasn't a thing when I first started back in the day, or if you even go further back than that. And I think some of that might have been because of it being a male-dominated society. So I enjoy the fact that we've moved along and kind of grown up a little bit and gotten a little better at how we handle everyone, not just the people that we thought were the leaders, so to speak. So I think that gets us more to where we can kind of speak to everyone, right? And then you have to figure out who they are and how to talk with them. But at the end of the day, supporting women is important, and both of the people that report to me are both women. So, being able to listen and promote and do the best job that I can with however I lead, it matters. And, just listening, I don't know, that's the way I look at it.
Oh, I love it. I think that's great. So thank you both, first and foremost, for volunteering your time for the Women's Leadership Initiative. I know you guys put so much work and effort into it, putting together all of the events, making sure that the Pearls of Wisdom goes off without a hitch. So thank you so much for that. And of course, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for being an awesome liaison. We
Thank
appreciate you.
That's a wrap on this episode of NCPDP Unscripted. Thanks for joining us as we explore the voices and ideas driving innovation in healthcare. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or have topic ideas you'd love to hear us cover, we want to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and stay unscripted. Our podcast is proudly sponsored by Marks Productions.